What if everything you've been told about winning the day is wrong? We live in a world obsessed with doing more, achieving faster, grinding harder. Motivational slogans scream at you to hustle, dominate, and chase the top. But Sadhguru, a mystic, yogi, and spiritual teacher, flips the script completely. He says that winning the day isn't about how many tasks you checked off or how much you outperformed others. It's about how consciously you lived, how present you were, how peaceful you remained within. Let that sink in, because in today's fast-paced, achievement-obsessed culture, we confuse movement with progress and chaos with ambition. But Sadhguru's version of success is not rooted in stress. It's rooted in stillness. And that, right there, is a revolutionary idea. This video is not just another motivational speech filled with hype and noise. It's an invitation to rethink your definition of success, to realign your energy, and to rediscover the most important territory you'll ever conquer, yourself. What does it really mean to win your day, according to Sadhguru? It's not waking up earlier than everyone else just to fill your calendar. It's not about crushing your competition. It's not even about being productive every second. It's about whether you were the master of your mind or a slave to your emotions. It's about whether you acted with intention or reacted in impulse. It's about whether you stayed grounded in your truth or got lost in the noise of the world. Because here's the truth. You can be rich and miserable, busy and hollow, surrounded and lonely, productive and still completely disconnected from yourself. That's why, in this video, we're diving into Sadhguru's deeper philosophy on what it actually means to win the day. We'll explore why your first thoughts in the morning matter more than your to-do list, how mastering your energy is. Yet attention is more powerful than mastering your schedule, why presence in ordinary moments outweighs major achievements, and how learning to respond instead of react can transform your entire life. This is the kind of motivation that doesn't hype you up just to burn you out. It wakes you up, it elevates you, it recenters you. So if you're tired of chasing wins that leave you feeling empty, if you're done measuring your life by how fast you run instead of how deeply you live, then stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what Sadhguru really means by winning the day, you'll have the tools to live it. Starting right now, the misunderstood concept of winning. When you hear the phrase win the day, what comes to mind? For most people, it means accomplishing more than others, hustling, outworking, outperforming, getting to the top. It's a competition mindset, one where the goal is to win at life by checking more boxes, reaching more goals, and being seen as successful. But when Sadhguru talks about winning the day, he's not speaking from the lens of external achievement. He's not talking about hustle culture. He's not telling you to dominate the world. He's inviting you to conquer something far more difficult, yourself. Sadhguru often says, if you are not in control of your body, your mind, your emotions, and your energies, you are not in control of anything. And that right there is the essence of his meaning. Winning the day is not about controlling circumstances. It's about mastering your inner state. Think about this for a moment. What's the point of achieving every goal if your mind is chaotic? What good is success if you're drowning in stress, anxiety, and emotional turmoil? According to Sadhguru, success isn't about collecting trophies. It's about cultivating a state of inner clarity, balance, and alignment. If you wake up and your thoughts are racing, if your emotions are reactive, if your energy is scattered, then no matter what you accomplish on the outside, you haven't won the day. The day has won you. To truly win the day, you must stop measuring it by outcomes. Not by how many meetings you had, how much money you made, or how many likes your post received. Instead, ask yourself, did I respond to life consciously or compulsively? Did I stay grounded in myself, or did I get pulled into chaos? Did I create moments of stillness, awareness, and connection, or did I just rush through? Because real power lies in inner mastery. Sadhguru emphasizes the importance of living in alignment, not living for the approval of others, not running on autopilot, but waking up with awareness and moving through the day with presence. When you are in touch with your breath, your thoughts, your choices, you're no longer a puppet of your emotions or environment. You become a creator, not a reactor. You become the author of your experience. So the next time you hear the phrase, win the day, remember, it's not about overpowering the world. It's not about doing more. It's about being more present, being more conscious, being more in command of yourself. That's the victory Sadhguru points to. A quiet, powerful inner success, where you go to bed knowing, I didn't just survive this day, I mastered it. Wake up with awareness, not autopilot. How do you start your day? For most people, the day begins with noise. The alarm blares, the phone is checked, emails flood in, and the mind immediately enters a state of urgency and anxiety. The morning becomes a sprint before your feet even touch the ground. But Sadhguru offers a radically different approach, one that redefines how we win the day before it even truly begins. According to Sadhguru, your mornings are sacred. They are a fresh reset, a clean slate from the clutter of yesterday. If you begin your day unconsciously, your entire day will be reactive. But if you start your morning with awareness, intention, and stillness, you become the master of your time and energy. He says, the first few moments of your day should not belong to the world. They should belong to you. So instead of grabbing your phone and diving into distraction, start your day by simply becoming aware of your breath, your body, and your presence. Sit up slowly. Feel your body. Acknowledge the gift of life. Connect inward before you connect outward. You don't need a complex ritual. You don't need incense or mantras, though you can include those if they resonate with you. What matters most is your intention. When you begin your day with awareness, you set the tone for everything that follows. You send a message to your mind and body. We are not here to rush. We are here to live consciously. Sadhguru often says, if you do not know how to manage your own body and mind, how will you manage your life? And the truth is, most people let their minds manage them. They wake up and allow yesterday's worries or tomorrow's anxieties to hijack today's peace. But imagine this instead. You wake up, you take a deep breath, you sit silently for just 2 minutes, you express gratitude for being alive, you smile, even if there's no reason to, because you choose to begin with joy. This isn't just a feel-good habit. This is how you reclaim control over your inner state before the world gets a chance to define it for you. When you wake up with awareness, you no longer stumble into your day. You step into it. You create a rhythm. You create a mindset. You create space between stimulus and response. And in that space lies your power. So if you want to win the day, the way Sadhguru intends, don't just wake up and go. Wake up and arrive in the moment, in your breath, in your presence. Because if you can own your morning, you can own your mind. And if you can own your mind, the day is already yours. Discipline over distraction. We live in an age where distractions are everywhere. Our phones ping constantly. Notifications scream for our attention. Social media scrolls never end. And slowly, without even realizing it, we begin to lose control, not over the world, but over ourselves. Sadhguru challenges us to look deeper. He reminds us that true freedom is not about doing whatever we feel like. It's not about chasing pleasure or escaping discomfort. True freedom is the ability to do what needs to be done, regardless of how we feel in the moment. And that requires discipline. Most people view discipline as something rigid or harsh. They think it's about restriction, about forcing yourself to do things you hate. But Sadhguru flips that idea on its head. He says, discipline is not about denying yourself, so it's about becoming capable. It's about becoming the kind of person who can direct their energies consciously, not compulsively. Think about it. How many times have you said you'd do something, go for a walk, finish a project, meditate, but got pulled away by something meaningless, a meme, a text, a moment of laziness? That's not freedom. That's being enslaved by your own impulses. Sadhguru teaches that your mind and body should take instruction from you. They should follow your will, not their whims. This is where discipline enters the picture, not as punishment, but as power. Discipline is saying, I won't scroll for 2 hours, I'll use that time to grow. I won't delay what matters. I'll show up no matter what. I may not feel like it now, but I honor the promise I made to myself. Discipline is how you shift from being emotionally reactive to being spiritually proactive. And here's the magic of it. The more disciplined you are, the less chaotic life feels. Why? Because you start to trust yourself. You stop negotiating with your goals. You stop letting emotions dictate your effort. You become centered, steady, focused. Sadhguru often says, if you have mastery over your body, 15 to 20% of your life is taken care of. If you have mastery over your mind, 50 to 60% is taken care of. If you have mastery over your energies, 100% of your life is in your hands. That journey begins with small, daily acts of self-discipline. You don't need to overhaul your entire life today. Start with one thing. Wake up when you said you would. Sit for 10 minutes in silence. Finish what you started. And watch what happens when you stop breaking the small promises to yourself. Because once discipline becomes your foundation, distractions lose their power. And then, finally, you begin to win the day. How you handle moments, not just goals. We live in a goal-obsessed culture. Set goals, crush goals, post your goals. But in the process, we often forget something crucial. Life doesn't happen in goals. Life happens in moments. Sadhguru reminds us of this powerful truth. He says, time is slipping away, moment by moment. If you miss the moment, you miss life. In other words, if you're not fully present now, you're not really living. You're just waiting for the future. And here's where the misunderstanding creeps in. People believe that winning the day means reaching the finish line, getting the job, hitting the sales target, gaining followers. But Sadhguru teaches that winning the day isn't about what you check off your to-do list. It's about how consciously you lived through each moment. Did you move through your day with awareness, or did you rush through it in a daze? Did you taste your food or just consume it while scrolling? Did you listen during conversations, or were you waiting to respond? Did you take one moment, even one, to be still? This is what he means when he says, every moment is a possibility. Either you embrace it consciously or waste it unconsciously. Think of your life like a mosaic. Every single moment is a tiny tile. Individually, it may not look like much, but stacked together, those moments shape the entire image of your life. The quality of your life is the quality of your moments, and the quality of your moments depends entirely on your presence. We spend so much energy worrying about the future or regretting the past that we miss the only space we actually have power in, now. That's the real battlefield. Can you be here, fully? Can you wash the dishes without thinking about tomorrow? Can you walk outside and feel the wind without reaching for your phone? It sounds simple, but it's rare. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. Winning the day isn't about reaching some huge breakthrough. It's about making peace with this moment, then the next and the next, until your entire day becomes a living meditation. You don't need to quit your job or move to the Himalayas. You just need to bring awareness into whatever you're already doing. Whether you're typing an email, folding clothes, or having a tough conversation, ask yourself, am I here? Because if you're not, the day is slipping through your fingers. Sadhguru says, don't postpone your life. And that includes postponing presence. If you can learn to live fully in each moment, you don't need to wait to win your day. You've already won it by being alive in it. Energy management is everything. Sadhguru often says, life is just a certain amount of time and energy. And if you understand that, your entire perspective on what it means to win the day will shift. Most people think they're lacking time. But the truth is, time is constant. Everyone has the same 24 hours. What differs is the quality of your energy during those hours. And that, Sadhguru teaches, is what separates a distracted life from a powerful one. So ask yourself, where is your energy going? What do you spend it on every day? Mentally, emotionally, physically? We often spend hours scrolling, complaining, overthinking, or engaging in drama, unaware that we're leaking the very fuel we need to live consciously. It's like having a luxury car and pouring muddy water in the tank. You won't get far, and even if you do, it won't feel smooth. Sadhguru emphasizes that your prana, or vital life energy, is the real currency of your life. You don't win the day by doing more, you win it by doing the right things with the right energy. Let's break it down. If your energy is low, even simple tasks feel heavy. You struggle to think clearly, your mood drops, your motivation disappears. But when your energy is high, you feel alive, you're sharp, you're clear, you can face challenges with grace. So how do you manage your energy the way Sadhguru teaches? First, what you eat matters. Your body is your vehicle and food is its fuel. Eating fresh, sattvic foods like fruits, vegetables and whole grains doesn't just support your health, it sharpens your mind and balances your emotions. Second, your breath is your power source. Sadhguru frequently speaks about yogic practices like Shambhavi Mahamudra or simple conscious breathing. When you control your breath, you control your energy. Try this. Take 3 slow, deep breaths right now and notice how your focus shifts. Third, who and what you engage with affects your energy deeply. Are you surrounded by negativity, gossip, chaos, or are you connected to people, content, and conversations that uplift you? Remember, energy is contagious, and your attention is sacred. Fourth, rest is essential. This isn't just about sleeping for 8 hours. It's about learning how to be at ease in your body, how to calm your nervous system, and how to stop carrying unnecessary mental baggage throughout the day. Sadhguru says, if you learn to manage your energy, your body and mind will follow. And when your energy is aligned, so is your life. So to win the day, start with awareness of your energy. Protect it, refuel it, direct it. Because life doesn't require more time. It requires more life in your time. And when your energy flows in the direction of awareness, presence and purpose, That's when you truly begin to master your day. Response, not reaction. One of the most powerful teachings Sadhguru offers is this: the moment you react, you are enslaved. The moment you respond, you are empowered. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with situations that trigger us. A rude comment, a stressful email, a piece of bad news. And without even realizing it, we react. We snap back. We overthink. We let external situations dictate our internal state. But Sadhguru reminds us that true mastery is not in controlling the world. It's in mastering how we respond to it. This is a core principle of winning the day. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you choose to respond. And that difference between reaction and response determines whether you remain in peace or spiral into chaos. Let's be clear, reaction is automatic, it's emotional, it's impulsive, it's often driven by ego and fear. But response is conscious, it's thoughtful, it's measured, it's rooted in awareness, not ego. Sadhguru teaches that when you pause before reacting, even for just a moment, you create space, and in that space lies your freedom. Imagine this: someone criticizes you harshly. A reactive mind might attack back or collapse in self-doubt, but a conscious mind, a responsive mind, pauses, it observes, it says, what is the truth here? What is this person really projecting? Do I need to carry this? That pause is where transformation begins. Winning the day is not about avoiding difficult people or perfect situations. It's about becoming so rooted in your inner stillness that nothing on the outside can shake you. You become like a calm lake. Whatever falls into it may cause ripples, but the lake never loses its depth. So how do you cultivate this ability to respond? First, become aware of your triggers. Notice what makes you angry, insecure, defensive. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Second, practice stillness. Meditation, even just 5 minutes a day, helps you become familiar with silence, so that when chaos strikes, you're not reacting from panic, but from presence. Third, don't take things personally. Sadhguru often reminds us that most people are acting out of their own pain, fear, or ignorance. Their reactions aren't always about you. They're about their own inner turbulence. And finally, remember this: every time you choose to respond instead of react, you are winning the moment. And if you win enough moments, you win the day. This is not weakness. This is strength. Because real power is not loud. It's not angry. It's not reactive. Real power is the quiet confidence to choose peace over provocation, to pause when others explode, to respond with wisdom instead of ego. And when you do that, not once, but throughout your day, you become untouchable from the inside out. Detachment from outcome. One of the most liberating teachings Sadhguru offers is this: do what is needed and do it well, but do not be attached to the result. At first, that sounds strange in a world obsessed with goals, results, and rewards. We're conditioned to believe that the outcome is everything. If you work hard, you expect results. If you give your best, you want recognition. If you love, you want to be loved back. But what happens when that outcome doesn't come the way you expected? Disappointment, frustration, bitterness. And in that space, we lose the joy of doing, the grace of giving, the peace of just being. Sadhguru teaches that real success, real peace, and real power come from detachment from the outcome. Not because you don't care, but because you care so much, you refuse to let your inner state be hijacked by something outside your control. Let's be clear, detachment doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean indifference. It means complete involvement in what you're doing, without letting your happiness depend on what comes from it. Think of a farmer planting seeds. He tends the soil, waters the crops, and protects them. But once the seeds are planted, he cannot control the sun or rain. He does his best and leaves the rest. That is wisdom. That is surrender. That is freedom. So many people ruin their days because they didn't get the response, the validation, or the payoff they were hoping for. They did the work, but they were attached to applause. They gave love, but demanded it in return. They took a risk and resented the world when it didn't reward them instantly. Sadhguru would ask, was your action genuine? Did you act with integrity, with awareness, with presence? If yes, then you've already succeeded. Because when your sense of fulfillment comes from the doing, not the getting, you become unstoppable. You free ourself from expectations. You're no longer swayed by approval or discouraged by rejection. You just keep walking, grounded in purpose and peace. To win the day, practice this detachment in small moments. Send the email and let go of the reply. Speak your truth and release the need to be understood. Work hard and trust the process. Ironically, when you detach from the outcome, you often perform better. Why? Because you're less tense, less fearful, more creative, more authentic. Your mind is clear, your energy is steady, Your focus is internal, not external. And that's when life begins to flow. Sadhguru says, if you can joyfully do what you are doing without being concerned about the outcome, you are a master of your destiny. Let your effort be your victory. Let your peace be your reward. And let go, because you were never in control of the result anyway. That's not failure, that's freedom. Sleep in stillness, not stress. How you end your day is just as important as how you begin it. Sadhguru often emphasizes that if you want to live well, you must learn to sleep consciously. That doesn't mean staying awake. It means ending the day intentionally, rather than crashing into sleep with a storm of worries, unfinished thoughts, and mental clutter. Most people don't fall asleep. They collapse. They carry the entire emotional load of the day. The frustrations, the overthinking, the guilt, the conversations they replay in their minds and expect to rest peacefully. But how can rest come when your mind is still running a marathon? Sadhguru reminds us, if you go to bed with turmoil in your mind, that turmoil continues to work even when you are unconscious. If you go to bed with gratitude and stillness, your sleep becomes a form of rejuvenation. In essence, how you end the day is how you program your subconscious. If you drift into sleep with stress, your mind will carry that into the next day. But if you enter sleep in stillness, peace, and presence, you allow your body and mind to heal, restore, and prepare for a new beginning. So what does it mean to win the end of the day? It means creating a closing ritual that clears your energy, centers your mind, and reconnects you to the essence of who you are, not the noise you encountered throughout the day. Here are a few powerful practices inspired by Sadhguru's teachings. Reflect in neutrality. Don't judge your day, simply observe. What went well? What didn't? What did you learn? This isn't about shame or ego, it's about awareness. Practice gratitude. Before sleep, list just 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice, it elevates your energy and shifts your consciousness. Sit in silence. Even 2 minutes of stillness before bed can transform your mental state. No music, no phone, just you and your breath. Let go of the mental baggage. Consciously release anything you've been holding. A grudge, a regret, a fear. You can even say out loud, I release this. I don't need to carry it into tomorrow. Sadhguru also teaches that the last thought before you sleep influences the quality of your rest and even your wakefulness. If your final thoughts are chaotic, you carry that confusion into your dreams. But if they are peaceful, your sleep becomes meditative, a reset, not an escape. When you end your day consciously, you don't just sleep. You surrender. You give the body permission to rest. You give the mind space to soften. And you give the soul a moment to breathe. So don't treat the end of your day like a leftover. Make it sacred. Because if you can wake up with awareness, move through the day with presence, and sleep in stillness, you've truly won the day, not just in action, but in spirit. By now, you've walked through the true essence of what Sadhguru means when he says win the day. And it's probably not what the world told you it was. You've learned that winning your day isn't about how much you did, how many boxes you ticked, or whether the world applauded your efforts. It's about the state of your inner world, your mind, your energy, your awareness. The modern world glorifies the grind. It measures success in likes, metrics, and outward validation. But Sadhguru reminds us of a deeper truth. Real success is inner stillness. Real strength is responding, not reacting. Real winning is alignment, not accumulation. So let's recap what winning the day actually looks like through the lens of wisdom. You wake up with awareness, not anxiety. You move through your day with discipline, not distraction. You show up with presence, not pretense. You protect your energy because your energy shapes your reality. You let go of attachments to outcomes and act with joy and purpose. And finally, you end your day with stillness, not stress. Resting in the peace of knowing you lived fully and consciously. That's the win. Not because the world saw it, not because it made noise, but because you knew in your heart that you were in command of yourself. Remember, the greatest battles you fight are not out there. They are in your mind, in your breath, in those quiet, private moments where you decide whether to numb out or wake up, whether to complain or grow, whether to follow your ego or your awareness. And in those moments, when you choose presence over pressure, when you choose to act from alignment rather than approval, you are not just surviving the day, you are mastering it. Sadhguru doesn't want you to live a life of robotic success. He wants you to live a life of joyful intensity, conscious clarity, deep aliveness, and that kind of lidai. Fee isn't earned in one grand achievement. It's built one moment, one breath, one choice at a time. So now the choice is yours. Will you fall back into routine or rise into awareness? Will you chase temporary validation or build unshakable inner peace? You don't need to wait for a perfect week. You don't need the stars to align. All you need is this day, this breath, this moment. Because if you can win this moment, you can win the next. And if you can win enough moments, you've won the day. And that, my friend, is the kind of victory that lasts. So go now. Not to impress the world, but to honor your soul. Not to chase, but to center. Not to do more, but to be more. That is what Sadhguru means by winning the day. And now, it's your turn.